Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maneshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nidhe Sarva Vidyanam, Vishaje Bhavaroginam, Gurave Sarva Lokanam, Dakshinamurtiye Namaha. Om Maunam Yakya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam, Varishtante Vasad Gushiganai, Avrutam Brahmanistarihi, Acharyendram Karakalita Chinnadva Anandarupam, Satma Rama Muditavadanam Dakshinamurti Mide, Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaktam Yena Characharam, Tatpadam Darsitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Bandhu Satraka Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Asatoma Sadgamai Tamasoma Jyotirgamai Mrityorma Amritam Gamai Om Shanti 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 Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara Vande Dayananda Saraswati. Today it's a very try to make the 1,000 people who are there maybe wrong kind of, and say the 10 people who are here may be right, or it comes across like that, but it's not that. It's a very interesting thing, and we all have to understand that we are now in the 29th stanza. And this one says, Manda Madhyama Rupapi Vairagyenya Samadhina Prasadena Guru Seyam Prabruddha Syete Phalam.
Ours is 28 words.
In the book it is 28. There is a one stanza difference, numbers differ. And
It's really 29, and I'm like, this is not 26.
It's 28,
Manda Madhyama Rupa means half-hearted and mediocre aspirations. Api Vairagya Samadhina, in a seeker for Vairagya Samadhina. Vairagya Samadhina is to learn philosophy or learn Vedanta. Prasadena Guru Naiyam Prabhupada, by the grace of the Guru, Suyate Phalam, by means of renunciation and calmness, you get everything what you require. And when we read this particular poem last week, and we started looking at the meaning of it and other things, and I said, Ramana Maharishi and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Ramana Maharishi did not have a guru, and he became a person who by himself wanted to get elevated, and he left. I'm sorry, I wanted to bring my books. I wrote a book called A Mistake, in which there is a whole chapter on Ramana Maharshi and how he became Ramana Maharshi. And he was a very young lad, and he was only 13, 14 years old, and he left his house and he started going. And he heard that in Tiruvannamalai, a lot of saints are there, and he needed to understand who he was. And to learn who he was, he went there and he started doing penance and other things. And he was an elevated soul, so he suddenly became a big Maharshi. And so did Ramakrishna. His Ramakrishna mats are all over the place. But Ramana Maharshi had a lot of Sishyas who were there, and he taught them everything, Guru Vedesha. And for all those Sishyas, they needed that Guru. And so there is a difference between a particular human being and the comprehension of that human being, and how quickly he grasps the thought processes which are there. And so that becomes a very important thing. So for renunciation and the calmness of mind, it really requires a Guru Upadesha. And I'll come back to that in the end of the lecture, and I'll tell what happened to me recently. And it's a very interesting analogy. And today we're going to be talking about Vairagyancha Mumukshatvam Tibram Yasyati Vidyate Tasmin Eva Ardhavantaha Palavanta Samadaya. In hope and aspiration is deep for Vairagya and Mumukshatvam for moksha. Only in him the four qualifications which are prevailing have to be fulfilled. Okay. Now we are talking about the four qualifications. Last week you were not there, but you were there before when we were talking about the four qualifications. There were four qualifications that are required for this. And these four qualifications suddenly turned out to be 9 qualifications. Because the third qualification becomes actually 6. Samadhana and etc. And most probably on the Friday class, I'll be going in detail about all the 9 essential qualities which someone should have in order to be a good student or to learn Vedanta. And so those are all the previous classes. And now today we are coming to Happy New Year. Let's proceed from where we left. And we are in the 30th poem. 31st. Yeteyo madanta etra virakatva mukshayo varau salilapat tatra samade bhanumatrata is 31. Here he is saying that bhanumatrata, just by coming once in a while and trying to do the things, is not going to really take you to that mumukshatva. It's very difficult. If you really want to follow the philosophical side of it and then really get to the Vedanta side of it, then you definitely need to have a guru or someone, and you need to have a innermost deep desire to really understand what Vedanta is. If the deep desire is not there, you are not going to do anything. That's what the previous verse is saying. And he says that is basically it. Then he goes up, and Shankaracharya, at 31 we stopped last week. So we'll go up to 31 when we go Friday. The 32nd verse is what we're going to be looking at it. It says, Moksha Karana Samagriyam Bhaktireva Gariyasi Saswarupanu Sandhanam Bhaktirityavi Dhiyate. Now in this one, he comes and puts a real monkey wrench into the Vedanta. And when we say monkey wrench into the Vedanta, that is the 1,000 people there. who are in the temple. And the 1,000 people in the temple are following a marga which is called Bhakti Marga. And the people who are here are following what is called the Jnana Marga. That means first thing we are trying to understand who that energy is. And we are smart enough, I suppose, at least Jnana Marga means the guy must have an intellect and he must have a discriminative faculty with him and he must be able to discriminate what he is thinking about, and he has to discriminate when he goes to a temple and sees a big rock there and says that's Venkateshwara, and he has to discriminate from that rock what's yes and what's wrong. And he has to have a phenomenal conviction in himself to say he is that energy which the Vedantas and other people are calling is somewhere there in the ionosphere or whatever sphere it is. And his abode, most probably Vaikuntha. How many miles is for Vaikuntha from here? Let's have a small discussion.
Millions?
Millions? There's something beyond millions.
Yeah.
Light years.
Light years.
And so once you go into the light years, then we got to say which light years, which there are, I believe, there are approximately known 7 suns. And in the known 7 suns, the dimension of our sun is a little small, what do you call, mustard seed. And the next one is like another seed which is a little bit bigger. And next one is bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you go to the largest sun which they have seen is approximately 8.5 times our sun. That means there is a galaxy there with a bright star which is so big, it even boggles our mind. Because 8.5 times our sun is going to be all our whole universe. Saturn, Newton, everything is gone. We are gone. Everyone is gone. We are all in that big ball. If we are all in that big ball, then what are they all around it? Someone else must know. I don't know. So that is the complexity which is there. But when you try and take that path where you say, I am going to go my Bhakti Marga, and you say this, there is a big rock there and Venkateshwara sitting there, and you say, oh God, you help me, oh God, you help me, oh God, you help me. You need to have that firm belief that that is it. It's a nice story for it. We know Tulsidas. And Tulsidas has written so many bhajans. He always used to think about Rama. All Tulsidas bhajans are phenomenal, always praising Rama, and he took Rama to be the God and other things, and he was just, his singing bhajans for Rama is Bhakti Tattva. That is his bhakti for Rama. And that was what he was doing. He used to do that, doing whatever work he was doing. What was he?
Cobbler.
Cobbler. Mochi. He used to take the shoe, and that shoe is a buffalo skin, and he was stitching all those things and making, oh Ram, Jai Ram, and everything. And if someone who is going to a temple, or someone who is praying in a temple, he sees that fellow, he says, what are you doing? You crazy guy, you are trying to take the shoes and other things. In our temple, we ask them to leave the shoes outside. When you come back, you don't have it there. Someone else taken up. Okay, that means so many people think that that Bhakti Marga is a very easy Marga. It is not. Because Bhakti Marga is lane thing. He just becomes laying there. Nothing else than the laying there. The minute he sits there and he starts, even for the slightest movement, tries to understand really what that particular energy source is, then immediately he will say, oh my God, I really don't know. And when you have that phenomenal inner strength to go in front of Mataji and say, Durga, are you really there? What the hell are you doing? I'm right in front of you and I trust in you, and what are you doing? She appears. That's what happened to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. She literally, Mataji came right in front of him, she appeared, and when she appeared, he says, Mata, I'm your dasa, and please take care of me. And he started praying and he started doing everything. And he said, I need a Sishya, some Sishya who has to come to me. And that Sishya was Vivekananda. He came. He was an arrogant fellow.
Swami Vivekananda.
Yeah. He was so arrogant, he went to him and he says, I'm ready to become your Sishya, but show me your Mata. If you don't show me your Mata, I'm not going to be your Sishya. When he said that, he said, okay, you want to see Mata, but there is a little bit of a characteristic which you got to develop. You got to go and tell her that you want to see her. Go to that particular meditation hall, sit there, put your thing, close your eyes, concentrate on Mata and say you want to see her, 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 you want to see her. 2 hours later, Vivekananda came back. I said, what happened? Ramakrishna said, what happened? He said, I asked Mata, she did not come. So you must not have asked really. You still must have had something else coming in between. Go and do it for 4 hours. So he went back and did it 4 hours. At the end of 4 hours he came back. Now he has done 6 hours. And still he did not get Mata. Then he went back again. He had to do 12 hours or something like that. And then he came back. And he says, I still did not get her. I said, come with me to Ganges. Let's take a bath. Took him for a bath. And he did a dubki. He asked Vivekananda to do a dubki. Vivekananda did a dubki. Immediately Ramakrishna Paramahamsa put his hand on his head and held him down in the water. When he held him down in the water, he was trying to get up. And he said, maybe my guru knows what he is doing, but I can't get up. Oh my God, I can't breathe. Oh. And finally, he was a much stronger than Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was a very lean old man. Suddenly he got out of the side and he got up and he says, Guru, what are you doing? In a minute I would have been dead. He says, yes, I know you would be dead. But he said, if you want to see Mata, you shouldn't be scared. You shouldn't worry about your death. You should not worry about anything. You got to have what is called ekagrata. Ekagrata means a pointed one side, only that in the mind and nothing else. But those people who think that Vedanta is a rough road, Vedanta is an easy road compared to Bhakti. Bhakti is the toughest way of reaching God. Because in Bhakti, you just get away with murder. Because you sit in front of that thing and you see, and you say, okay, I'm a big Bhakta. Coming back to Tulsidas. Tulsidas' wife used to pray to Rama. Every day in the morning, get up, take a shower, this, that, and all, and make make something for Tulsidas and go and sit in front of Rama, put a thing and take a bell and Om Ram 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 and other things and then and then go to Tulsi plant and go around Tulsi plant 5 times, come back everything and say, मैं आ रहा हूँ, खाना तैयार है, कुछ नहीं होगा, थोड़े देर में आता हूँ. All this kind of things. And one day when he came to Tulsidas, he said, मैं एक बोलूं, जो भक्ति है तू वो भक्ति के साथ just 10 minutes, 10% of true bhakti is required for you to get to Rama. You are doing all these things from morning till evening and all that thing, they ain't going to help you. Because she was doing it for pradakshina and saying, bhai, aa raha ho, kaane ke liye. So the mind is always in that, there. And so that ekagrata was not there and that's why she could not get it. So bhakti has that kind of a very special kind of a thing which they have to do. Okay, in this, when we start talking about bhakti, we are going to have quite a good amount of okay, I have this one because I won't be able to see that. Can you see this one?
You can come this way.
Yeah.
I can move it.
You can see it.
We can see.
You can see.
Babu, you may have to turn it to them. That's
No, it's fine. We can see it.
So now when we start talking about why are we going to a temple or why are we doing Vedanta or whatever it is all for going to moksha. Moksha is that thousands of million light years away, Vaikuntha, which is sitting someplace. And then some other fellow guy say, what Vaikuntha? I'm not going to Vaikuntha, I'm going to Kailasha. There's another side, another 1,000 light years. And so what happens is, when you start going to the ritualistic side of the thing, then it becomes very difficult to concentrate on the ritual. Instead, we are concentrating on what we need to do. Point of example is you go to the temple, you are sitting there and you are wishing everything, and the minute they are ready to finish everything and ready to give prasad to God, and all the prasads are sitting there and everything, God is hungry like crazy, he wants to eat the prasad immediately, and he's saying, what am I going to do? Come on, come on, do. Upayana, Udayana, Upanaya, Swaha. Why are you not doing it? And they are all the gods are waiting, they're really worried because they are waiting for what? Till 12:30, 12:45. Because our pujaris are doing so many things which are there, all of them going on puja, all rituals. And then the guy comes up and says, anyone wants to do archana? Go get your archana token. And then they wait till the archana tokens are given and they wait till all those people come in and then they say, so where is it diluted? It's diluted. That means the bhakti is not the same. That's why when Tulsidas said 10%, so you don't have to be there for that long. You just go there and put your 2 hands together and go around that thing, pradakshina, 3 pradakshinas. But while you are doing the 3 pradakshinas, just repeat the whatever God's name it is there. And then you do the 3 pradakshinas. Once the 3 pradakshinas is over, you are done. You have reached the location where you want to go. Then even in Jnana Marga you get to read this Viveka Niridhyasana 585 stanzas. At the end of 585 stanzas, now I know how to get to God. But if you don't follow all the things which we are supposed to do, you're not going to get there. Because there again, in this one, even he's saying you need qualifications, and if you don't do the qualifications, you're not going to go anywhere. And Adi Shankaracharya is also a very tricky person. He said in that thing, 4 qualifications. And when it came to the one qualification is samadhana, etc. And once he says etc., then what is etc.? There were another 6. So 6 plus this 4 became those things. And when you look at those kind of things, here are the 4 qualifications: Viveka, Vairagya, then Sama, Dhamma, Uparama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, and Mumukshatva. There are 9. So even this path is a difficult path, that path is a difficult path. And that path is a path of bhakti. And the bhakti means they think going to Mount Kailash and doing the parikrama. And the funny thing is, some people who do a lot of prayer to Shiva go to Kailash and can't finish the parikrama. And they come back. And so, again, these are all things which are very, very difficult, and when we see. So what are the 4 moksha sadhanas which we have? In bhakti, jnana, vairagya, yoga. So jnana, vairagya, yoga will come later on sometime. Today we are only talking about bhakti. So for bhakti, you have to have fundamentally a firm and deep-rooted Atma Vichara. The deep-rooted Atma Vichara will bring you to that level where if you believe that Rama is God, then he has to be the only God you pray. In Bhakti Marga what happens is, they say, today I went and prayed to Shiva. I was very good. I very, very nicely said, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva, please excuse me for 2 minutes. I'll be back. And go out there and sit in front of Mahalakshmi, and they say, Sri Mata, Sri Maharaji, or whatever it is, and then say that you need to give me $2,000 more because I have got only 34,000 in my account. The 2,000 more I need to buy the Tesla. So immediately that concentration which you are doing for God is diluted and you are out here on this side. So bhakti is not a beggary. It is an intellectual slavery. We get slaves to this bhakti marga. Oh, I got to give $1,000 to the temple, otherwise my son won't get the seat in medicine. If that idiot studies, he will get it. If he doesn't study, he won't get it. And it's not necessarily he has to be a doctor. He can be anything else also. If he goes to Wall Street, he will make more money than the doctor. So these are all the things which come. You have the courage and a conviction to renounce. You got to renounce yourself when you go to the temple. Renouncing going to a temple is a very difficult task for a bhakti marga. That means when I go into the temple, I have to say, I'm not going to ask anything from him. I'm just going to ask him moksha, please. So courage, conviction, renouncement. Then, Narada Bhakti Sutras. Narada Bhakti Sutras, Narada is one of the greatest bhaktas. He can go to any god he wants. Just disappear here, go there, go there, go there. He's in front of Shiva, he's in front of Ravana, Rama, all over the place. He's one of the biggest bhaktas. We're going to talk a little bit more about it. For him, his capacity was in para anurakti. Paranurati anurakti means a deep devotion and a deep attachment and a very firm understanding of para. And that we'll read in the Friday's class. I will talk about para and apara. Para is all about God or the energy which is there, and that energy I call it Om because I don't know what else to call it. It's an energy package sitting somewhere in that universe. Bhakti's predominant requirement is love. Okay, we have a hard time loving our own kids. We have a hard time loving our husbands, hard time loving our wives, hard time doing this. Within 1 second our mind travels all over the place. As soon as we see Padukone on the screen, for 3 hours you are completely in Padukone's level. No one cares. Or you see, in my young days, all the girls used to fall after Devanand. And so we used to get a big hair and we used to try to put it like that. And we used to go and smoke a cigarette and then we thought we were Devanand. So what happens is that weakness for love is again a negative. And when you get into Bhakti Marga, the love has to be only to him and nowhere else. That means you have to have that virakti. And when you look at some of the old saints and rishis, and when you see the lady who wrote Lopamudra, who wrote Lalita Sahasranama, and Lopamudra and her husband were two separate entities who were completely full and with knowledge, and they were phenomenal. And so that's something which we have to see. So weakness, imperfections, limitations, egocentricity has to be dispelled in Bhakti Marga. So Bhakti Marga, when I go and see so many people, this morning I went to the temple. The ritual which was supposed to start at about 8:30 went on till 9:30 and it went on. So many people are there, all the other doors were locked and one door was open and everyone went in and they were coming out. I saw the locked doors. I said, oh my God, I hope the fireman doesn't come, because according to fire people you can't have 50 people inside a room with 3 doors locked. But they did it. And it was for people who are into that is a good thing. But again, trying to keep the times, this, that and all becomes difficult. Now let's go and I'm going very fast today because I got a lot to cover. Narada, who was he? He was Brahma Sankalpa Putra. Brahma's Sankalpa, by thought, obviously Brahma and Saraswati did not have a bedroom. So it is a Sankalpa. With the Sankalpa they had a baby. And that baby was Narada. And he was not only the one, there are so many others who were also there. There were another And Narada, previous life, he was a Gandharva. And he was a Gandharva and he was up in celestial location and then he saw Ramba and he got so excited. So he was then later on cursed to go down to the earth and then be born again and other things. And so he had a background for him. So as it said, getting a Manushya Janma is supposed to be one of the greatest things which Shankaracharya says in the first verse. And he was a Gandharva who was sent away down to earth. And when he was in earth, he was near the Himalayas. And in the Himalayas, there is something called Chaturmasya. Chaturmasya is the time when all the recluse saints in Himalayas, in all those big places, they come down for 4 months of the summer. In summer, in the winter they stay there. They love the cold. And for the summer 4 months, they come down and ask for bhiksha and they go around in the thing. That is called Chaturmasya. When those people used to come down for Chaturmasya, Narada, who was on the earth, used to go around with them. So from them he learnt a lot of what really Godhead is, what is the whole thing, and he really became a big bhakta, and from them he got all the knowledge, and he had a lot of satsangs which he attended in the Chaturmasya with all of them, and that gave him a lot of knowledge. And then he became so absorbed with the celestial knowledge, he wrote Narada Bhakti Sutras. And when you talk about a sutra, sutra is just one quick, small sentence. That's it. It will be 3 words or 4 words. And that reflects a lot. And the Narada Bhakti Sutras are approximately 48 or so stanzas which are there. And if I take each stanza and tell them, that's going to take 2 classes, so I'm not doing that. But prose, it is a prose, 4 to 5 words only. Okay. Narada was supposed to be a Kalahapriya. He always used to create conflict between people. He will come and say something to someone, something else to someone, something else to someone. But have you ever seen one common thread in that? Anyone whom he interfered with always went to heaven. Always got mountain. He interfered with Hiranyakashipa. You know who Hiranyakashipa is. He's Prahlada's father. And he used to say, who is Narayana? Eh? I am Narayana. I am God. I am it. And he used to go and say, oh, the Narayana is hiding somewhere. He's scared of you. And he used to give all kinds of stories to him. And what he did was, he pushed a person in either a positive frame of mind or a negative frame of mind to reach God. He pushed Hiranyakashipa right to the brim of the place where he could not stand anymore. And he got him to break that big pillar, and then he came in Narasimha Avatara and killed him. And as soon as Hiranyakashipa was killed, the light of his Atma came out and it went directly into Srihari's abode. So every place. And Narada was the one who taught Prahlada the Narayana Mantra. And even that he taught him when he was in the mother's womb. He sat there and he taught him about Narayana mantra, and he took the Narayana mantra and he did that. So we cannot call him, he is a Kalahapriya at the same time. He always thinks about Narayana, nothing else but Narayana, and with a full heart, with no other these things. So he is abode of jnana. He represents jnana. So Narada Sutras are the representatives of jnana. Narada. Nara means jnana in Sanskrit. Da means dadati, one who gives. So one who gives jnana is Narada. Another funny thing is, Narayana means abode of jnana. Narayana is Vishnu. Another word which comes out of that one is Nara, we say man, Nari, which is lady. So Nara Nari is also a group word, but the root word is Narayana. So when you are doing bhakti yoga, and if you are going to bhakti yoga, then you got to understand all these things, so that you say, okay, when I talk to Vishnu, it includes Nara, Nari, everyone. And because it includes everything, it is a totality which I am going to pray to. I don't have to worry about Lakshmi sitting there, Bhudevi sitting there, and Shiva sitting there, and all the other people sitting there. So an ekagrata, bhakti is more important than anything else. A Nara, Nari, both of them are human species. In the world, it is said that there are 8,400,000 species, out of which 900,000 species can only live in water. They can't come out of water. Fish, if they come out of water, they can't survive. And there are about 2 million species who can live both in water and earth. And if we come down to the human species, we are only 400,000 human species are there. And the human species are all different in this respect, that there are some species in Australia, Aborigines, this and that and other things. So when you look at all these things, it becomes very important in Bhakti Yoga for people to understand that all these other species which are there, they also are part and parcel of the totality of creation. I'll give you a very small example. One day I came, I opened my garage door, I walked out and I put my step out, I saw a snake there. And I was hoping I had my garage door opener with me, because I could immediately stop it and then the garage door would come back. No, I pushed with the manual one. And it was sitting there. Then I shouted for my wife and said, hey Padma, come on, bring a brush or something which I can scare the snake off. And unconsciously, I don't kill anything. Even if a fly comes into my house, I try to catch it and then take it out and leave it. Because killing something gives me a aversion. And so I saw the snake and I put my two hands together and I said, okay, let me go into the Bhakti Yoga style. And so I said, who is in charge of these snakes? It is Subramanya. Yeah. So I said, Haro Hara, Haro Hara, Haro Hara, please go, please go. And I started praying like this. And to my surprise, that snake was about this big. The minute I said Haro Hara, Haro Hara, they turned around and looked at me. suddenly he turned around and looked at me and he said, hey, don't bite me now because I'm saying Haro Hara Hara Hara. And he said, Haro Hara, please go, please go. It might be just a sheer circumstantial thing which happened that day, but it turned out, went into the grass and disappeared. I said, thank you very much. It's gone. So, I am not saying that I did something to it, but it didn't go. But what it did was, immediately it gave me a mental sensation that if I pray to Hara Hara, Subramanyeshwara, then he will take care of the environment which is there around us. That becomes bhakti. So bhakti is a very difficult thing. Sanatana Dharma is another a negative thing which we don't understand, but it really comes in conflict with the Bhakti Yoga. This is Bhakti Yoga basically. The Sanatana Dharma says Adi Shankaracharya, then he preached Advaita, Ramanuja Vasishtha Advaita, and then Madhvacharya Advaita. There are three different concepts which they came up with. Adi Shankara absolute consciousness is what he was trying to emanate. Absolute consciousness of who you are. And that comes only with a samya bhava. Means you have to be very equanimous in your thought process in order to be able to understand the philosophical side of it. Bhakti bhava doesn't work. And he's saying is Tameva aham. I am you. So, Aham Brahmosmi is another one, which is also there in one of the Upanishads. And Shankaracharya even says Aham Brahmosmi is part of the thing. Tvam eva aham means you and I are one. I am you. And that is one. That's a one very, very, very nice one. Bhakti doesn't come in here. Because only jnana comes here. Because jnana, to understand he is in you and to understand you are capable of being him, takes a lot of consciousness and absolute consciousness. Absolute consciousness you can get into if you sit there and what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa did to Vivekananda. 12 hours of meditation without a offshoot to something else. And fearlessness. And that's what he said. Then we come to the next one where it is a jivi is an individual. It means he says you are a born person, so you are an individual by yourself. And as such, you have a consciousness, individual consciousness. I am me, he is he. And so once you come to I am me and he is he, then you are coming to Aikya Bhava. Aikya Bhava is you are trying to get very close to him. And this Aikya Bhava, what it does is Tava Eva Aham. Means you and I are most probably the same, but I am me and you are you. That is Bhakti Marga. In Bhakti Marga, if you don't follow that, then you are not able to say, that's God. For me, it is very hard for me to say that is God. Because the minute I come and see it, I say that it is a stone, carved stone. I agree that maybe there is something there underneath which they put on Mumbo Jumbo, that they put Prana Pratishtha. Well, how many Prana Pratishtha? He is everywhere. If he is everywhere, even in me there is a Prana Pratishtha. The day when I was born, he was already in me. So once that clarity has to come. Then the next one is he is he and I am verily his. That is this is the Dvaita philosophy. So I am verily his. So every time you get something hurt, you say, oh my God, I'm coming to you, and run to him. And that kind of a thing. These three Sanatana Dharma factions really have created problems for all of us in following either the Vedantic side of it and then say this is Vedanta and Aham Brahmosmi, he is in me. The minute I say he is not in me, he is out there, then my temple becomes most important thing for me. Most of the religions in the world are on that principle. And so for them, Christ's Father. And for Muslims, Allah. And so a religion becomes a hindrance for Atma Vijnana. And that Atma Vijnana you only get when you go into the study of what we are doing here with Viveka Chudamani. Vivekam is that which gives you the intellect and everything to understand that everyone is God by themselves. Because that energy, that's why I call it an energy. So Om is in all of us. And that is an energy which we all have. That energy clicks us and keeps us. So there are three avasthas in which we are there. One avastha is Jagrati, where we are all awake and we understand what's going on around us. The second one is Nidravastha. In Nidravastha, we are sleeping. Still, we have dreams and things and other things. And then you go to Sushupti. When you go to Sushupti, that means it's a deep sleep state where there is nothing coming into your mind. Your mind is just resting by itself. But there are certain reflex actions which keep going on in the body. You still breathe, you still have the blood flowing, all these things happen. When you are in that Sushupti, that is where you are God Himself. And so when people talk about meditation, all they are saying is try to get to the Sushupti level. And now we talk so much about Narada, and we're going to be 5 minutes. We started late, so 5 minutes. Narada Bhakti has, they call it Navavidha Bhakti. So for those people who are following that particular methodology to reach God, they will get Navavidha Bhakti is supposed to be one of the tools which they have given him to follow in the Bhakti Marga. And the Navavidha Bhakti are, first one is Sravana, listening about the God. Predominantly in the northern India, in all the temples, Sravanam happens irrespective of anything else. Every day Sravanam happens there. They are there doing Ram Bhajan. They are doing Krishna Bhajan. They are dancing for Krishna. They are dancing for Rama. They are doing Hanuman Chalisa. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Rajanija Mana Mukura Sudhari Varanau Raghuvara Vimalaya Sanjodaya Kapalachari Buddhihena Tanujani Kai Sumirai Pavana Kumar Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Karahu Kalesha Vikar. So we are even asking Hanuman to give that Bala Buddhi. Hanuman is a phenomenal man. Hanuman is the epitome of Aham Brahmosmi. No one, people don't understand it. Okay? Hanuman did Sravana all through. Rama used to talk to him. Lakshmana used to talk to him. He used to be there. He never used to open his mouth. He just used to listen. That is Sravana. That means we should be able to sit quietly in a place with crossed bow legs and listen to God. I'm talking about taking the Bhakti Marga a step forward. Earlier I said Bhakti Marga is very difficult. But now I'm telling you, in Bhakti Marga you need to do these things in order to get there. Hanuman did that. Kirtana. He always chanted glories of Rama. He always says Rama, 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 Rama. And it is said that anywhere where there is a Ram bhajan, Hanuman will be sitting there listening to it. So, Kirtana, Smarana. He remembers him all the time. He says Rama is in me. Aham Brahmosmi. He showed that his remembering Rama in him and remembering Aham Brahmosmi exemplified when he was there in front of the ocean and he had to cross across 26 yojanas in order to go to Lanka. And at that time, what did he do? He awakened the God in him. The minute he awakened the God in him, he said, I'm going to be like Krishna in Mahabharata. Krishna got off the chariot from Arjuna, stood there, and suddenly grew into a huge, big avatar. Like that, Hanuman awakening the God in him, he increased his body to a huge, big Hanuman, so that he would be able to cross over the ocean. Smarana, remembering him and feeling that Aham Brahmosmi. He showed that God is in you. Padasevana. When they asked him about something about the jewelry which Sita had, he says, I only see the legs, I never see the face. And so, even for Rama, always he used to look at the legs and he used to do the Padasevana, serving and meditating upon the Lord's feet. That's another way. So when you go there, you see the feet and say, Oh Venkateshwara, and whoever it is. If you are going to pray to Shiva, Shiva's feet. And that's where Padasevana. Archana. Archana is the Archana. Archana can be done in your house. Could be done in the temple. Okay, and if you're going to do Archana, then just go and do the Archana. But by the token, before and give it to him and then stand there and do the Archana, and be done with it. You know, or don't wait till the time when someone reminds you that you got to do Archana. There's a difference between the two. When they say, who is going to do Archana? Then, hey, 10 hands come up. That means they did not have an intent to do it. It's a prompted effect. So, Archana. Archana is a good way to do it, but that Archana should be done. You don't need to go on a big puja day to do Archana. I and my wife, we go there in the afternoon at 11 o'clock when no one is there. We go and say, please do Archana for us, and we give him the thing and take just a little bit of a prasad or whatever it is. Puja karta. Vandana. Very simple thing, just pray. And the next one is dasya. You have to feel as if you are his dasa. That's why Ramadasa, Kabir Das, everyone, they are all das. So you come to that thing means surrendering yourself 100% to God. Sakhya, you got to be his friend. So never ask him, says that, hey, give me $50,000 so I can go buy myself a car. Instead say, shall we buy a car? Will you come with me? Is a better way to put it. Simple difference. One is bhakti, one is ego. So bhakti is a very, very interesting thing. Today this thing is being recorded. Thank you. But it is a very important lecture, this one. You can see it again and again. That gives you a clarity about the difference between bhakti and jnana yoga, and they go hand in hand. And it is not that you can't go in that way and reach him, you can't go this way and reach him, but bhakti way is very difficult. Jnana yoga is simpler, because the minute you understand it is in you, then you pray to yourself. Sakyam is becoming his friend. Atma Nivedana, that becomes the most important in the Navavidha Bhakti. Atma Nivedana is Viveka Jnana. And Viveka Jnana, if you don't have a Jnana, you will not be able to discriminate between the real and the unreal. Then you get to superimpose on it something else. Intellect. If you don't have the intellect, you will not be able to discriminate whether the particular thing is good or bad. If it is good, it is fine. If it is bad, then you are in trouble. If you are going that route. And so, that becomes a very important thing, Atma Nivedana. And when you do Atma Nivedana, you say, I know I did something wrong, please excuse me. Catholics say, go into that box, sit there and say, I just went and killed a man, I'm sorry. And a priest will sit there and say, you are excused. The fellow says, thank you very much, comes out and loads his gun again, puts it back. So where is Atma Nivedana there? There's no Atma Nivedana. But Atma Nivedana in Navavidha Bhakti Sutras, Hanuman's Atma Nivedana is you have to surrender to the whoever is the God. And that's where I come back to Tulsidas, where he said to his wife, if you do just 10% of the bhakti which I have got to your Rama, you will get him much faster than anywhere else. And that is bhakti. And so no one better bhakta than Sudas. Thank you very much. Let us do the Shanti Mantra. I'm sorry, there's a lot to say, so I was rushing. Swasti prajabhyam paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahisham gobrahmane mastu subhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyaha prithivim sasyashalini desho yanksho varitaha brahmana santu